The VA killed my son. John Lutz served on the front lines of Iraq and Afghanistan. He came home from his second deployment November of 2009 and subsequently was diagnosed with severe PTSD and traumatic brain injury. The treatment that he received was what we know today, the dangerous combat cocktail. Even though he was taking over 24 prescribed pharmaceuticals, it still was not working. They gave him Klonopin, a benzodiazepine, and 1 week later was his first suicide attempt. They found him just as he stopped breathing and saved his life. The doctor noted in his chart not to give Mr. Lutz Klonopin, but failed to tell my son that he could not take that drug, and also leaving him to believe that he wanted to take his life of his own free will. 3 months later, Johnny was inpatient at Poplar Springs, and that doctor also prescribed him Klonopin, did not read his medical history, and in 3 days, Johnny wanted to die again. The doctor immediately stopped administering this drug and noted in his chart, "Do not give Mr. Lutz Klonopin." Again, failing to tell my son that he could not take this drug and leaving him to believe that he wanted to take his life by his own free will. November of 2011, Johnny was medically retired. When he came home, he was on about 18 different prescribed pharmaceuticals. Early 2012, he decided that he did not want to take the dope anymore. He was tired of living like a zombie, being isolated, and as life passed him by. And somehow he found it in him to get off all the medication that was prescribed him. The summer of 2012, Johnny blossomed. He flourished. We traveled around the United States. We visited family. It was a wonderful summer. At the end of the summer, however, something triggered, a life event triggered his post-traumatic stress. And Johnny called me into his room on January 1st, 2013, and he handed me his pain medication. And he also asked me to lock up all the guns in the house. Because you see, my son was terrified that he was going to have those suicidal ideations again. And he did not want to die. In fact, he did everything he could in his power to live. But on January 4th, just 3 days later, he went to the Fort Lauderdale VA on Commercial Boulevard in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And his medical records read, "Mr. Lutz presents well-groomed and teary-eyed." That's a red flag. He also told them that his mom was controlling his meds, his pain meds, and that she locked up all the guns in the house. 2 more red flags. And the reason why is because he was having suicidal ideations. This is a huge red flag. And he said that as tears were rolling down his face. And the doctor said, "Mr. Lutz, are you having suicidal ideations now?" And he responded, "No." "Okay, Mr. Lutz, I'm not going to read your medical records. It didn't say that. I'm just ad-libbing that part." And she gave him Klonopin. Then he walked next door to the pain doctor, and that doctor gave him 90 morphine. Morphine and Klonopin are contraindicated. You do not prescribe them together. Johnny came home, and 8 days later, he was dead. I am Janine Lutz, or Moab, the mother of America's battalion. My son Lutz, his story can be told over and over again. That's why we came up with the hashtag, #IWasLutz. Many stories, though, ended differently. There's many success stories out there. Many of you out there have gotten off the combat cocktail. You beat the zombie dope. We want to hear your stories. We want to know how you are living today. Whether your story is that of being prescribed the zombie dope, long wait times, being turned away, filing, and then 3 months later they can't find your file, however the VA failed you, we need to hear that story. And to America's families out there, the ones that have sadly lost their veteran because of medical malpractice from the VA, whether it was the prescribed medications, the overprescription of them, being turned away, whatever the case may be, that your veteran did not get the treatment that he so rightfully, or she so rightfully deserves. We want to hear your story. We need your voices to be heard to make change. Share your stories on social media using the hashtag #IWasLutz. You can also go to our website, lutzlivetotell.org, and upload your story there with any photos of your loved one, of yourself, and any videos. By doing this, you are helping us advocate for VA reform and finding solutions for real life matters. Together we will make a difference.